August 17th, 2026. I am officially blown away at how everything is changing with my performance because I'm not perfect. I'm still making mistakes. Don't get me wrong. But limiting yourself, creating limits and creating rules is like the scaffolding for the building of freedom. If you want to have freedom within anything you do, having the scaffolding and the foundation of discipline is how you do it. So it's different for everybody. Everybody's different. And when it comes to trading, my God, it can be so unique and different for everybody. But for me, trading just these 2 hours from 9:30 to 11:30, it's changing everything for me because it's just like, hey, now is your time. Now is the time to perform. Now is the time to show up. And something that's awesome right now that I'm really starting, and I always had a hunch about this, but now it's becoming clear. On a weekly chart, I mark off the previous week's close and open, and then I mark off the previous week's maximum high and maximum low, and open, close, high, low. And so this was the open, this was the close of last week, this is the high, this is the low. And I mark those in purple so that when I'm looking at the day on a 2-minute execution time frame or a 3-minute execution time, whatever, I can see where am I in regards to this range here. So like, for example, we're going to look at Meta. Meta open, this is the open right here. This is pre-market. Meta opens, and then what's right here? This is last week's open close range right here. So I notice that as the market opens, we reject right off of this immediately. We reject off of this block, this range of last week. Have a huge rejection. We come back. Now we're getting close to 9:30. And I see an opportunity. I take this opportunity here that's right there. Why did I take that trade? Well, because that was where the momentum realigned to the downside. Look, momentum's pulling up. We're waiting for it to realign to the downside right there. That was at 9:30 on the dot. Now, why was I going for shorts and not longs? Well, because our 15-minute momentum was primed to the downside. Our 1-hour momentum was going down. Our daily momentum is not very bullish. It's kind of bearish, in fact. So that was my first trade of the day. That was a win. Going over to NVIDIA. I did not take this trade, but my God, I should have. And I don't know why I didn't. I was scared, and I had already taken 2 trades, and I was letting fear get involved. And NVIDIA's trade happened at 10:45 today. There was a few other opportunities, but 10:45 was the first official signal of the day. And the reason that this wasn't a signal here is because technically that was a signal, by the way, but it's just because the 15-minute was pulling back into the red when that was happening, that realignment to the upside. The 15-minute momentum was pulling back into the red at that time. So yes, that would have been a win, but it wasn't officially it because the 15-minute momentum was weak at that time. And anyway, so the NVIDIA setup today was 10:45. NVIDIA. This is on a we should be using a 2-minute execution time frame, so I'm making a mistake here. My bad. There we go for that one. And then was Meta. Yeah, see, I was giving you the wrong info. Horribly wrong info. Meta's setup today was 9:44 on a 2-minute execution time frame because we had a realignment occur. What is a realignment? Well, momentum's going with us. That's nice. But we want to enter at a realignment, so we need the momentum to break. Here it breaks. See, the momentum pulls back, and then it realigns. 9:44 was the entry for Meta today. Right there, that was a win. NVIDIA. Entry today on its realignment was at 10:46. That was a win by just a little bit, but it was a win. Definitely got over that 1-to-1 mark right there. And now let's go over Apple. Apple, we had a trade right before the 9:30 window started. We did have a trade right here of realignment to the downside, and that was also a win. SPY. In SPY, we had a bearish trade, and I actually took this trade here in S&P, ES Futures. And that's really early. Why did I do that? Well, because the setup was so beautiful. We had everything going strong to the downside in terms of the 1 hour, in terms of the 15. And then we had this tapering, stalling realignment. These are the most attractive to me. Momentum dying off to the upside. We were waiting for it to realign to the downside, and then boom, right there. Look at the volume that accompanied right here. So that was what I call an A++ setup right there. I mean, that was an amazing setup. That's why I took it. The official setup of the day wasn't until 9:36. Both of them were wins. TQQQ. We didn't get a setup until after my window closed. After 11:30, we got a realignment to the upside, or to the downside rather, right here. Now, why was this the setup but not any of these? Why weren't any of these a setup? Well, because look at the 15-minute momentum. We want the 15-minute momentum to be in the red. This is in the red going down. This is not in the red. This is going up. We want to wait until it goes to the red. When does that happen? Well, it's going to the future. Okay, now it's starting to touch red, but we want it to finish. And now it's finished. So now we look for opportunities. Hence, why that was a realignment at exactly 11:34. That was also a win. Making a lot of money today. All of these are winning. That's just probability. It's not personal. It doesn't mean I'm a good trader. It just means the strategy is doing well today. That's all it means. Amazon. We had a realignment to the downside. Look, this is going down, crossing over. This is strong to the downside. Look at our daily momentum. This is nice. In Amazon, we had a setup. I think I traded this today, actually. I did trade this. Yeah, I did. So this was a realignment to the downside at 9:30. See the realignment right there? Up, back down. See that? That's a 9:30, and it almost got stopped out. In fact, this very next candle almost stopped it out by coming up to the very top of the entry candle at 9:30. This next candle almost stopped out, but it did not. And price action continued going down and hit that 1-to-1 target right here about 15 minutes later. So that was all of the trades today. And let's go over the full results and see. I'm just going to put this here for now. No, actually, it's right there. That's where it belongs, right there. Okay, so we didn't go over Palantir yet. Sorry. Palantir, we're looking for long trades because the 1 hour is going up, 15-minute going up. 9:30 happens here. So now we're looking for a realignment to the upside. That happens right here at 9:36, and that was a loss. Tesla. Right before the 9:30 window started, we had a big realignment to the downside, big selling candle, and that was also a loss. And we already talked about Meta. So in terms of all 8 of these stocks, if you would have taken every single setup, every single first valid signal of the day between around 9:30 to 11, what would we have ended the day at? Okay, Nvidia +1, Apple +2. Now we're up 2. SPY, now we're up 3. TQQQ, now we're up 4. Amazon, now we're up 5. Palantir, back down to 4. Tesla, back down to 3. Meta gets us up to 4. So if you're risking $100 a trade, you would have finished today up $400. And that was the setup for today, the setups that occurred in the market today. I hope you're doing well. I'll see you in the next one.